Welcome to this lesson on Calculus 3. Today, we are going to learn how to calculate the arc length of space curves. We will understand exactly how we can measure the length of a curved path in 3 dimensions using the power of integration. First, let's define what we are measuring. A curve in 3-dimensional space is typically defined by a vector-valued function, denoted as r of t. This function has 3 components: f of t, g of t, and h of t. Essentially, for any point in time t, the vector r points to the specific location of a particle moving along that curve. Why do we need calculus for this? Well, if we had a straight line, we could simply use the distance formula. However, space curves are constantly changing direction. A standard ruler doesn't work on a bent wire. We cannot just calculate the distance between the starting point and the ending point, because that would ignore all the twisting and turning in between. To solve this, we use a fundamental idea of calculus: linear approximation. Imagine zooming in very close to a specific part of the curve. If you zoom in enough, that tiny section looks almost like a straight line. Our strategy is to break the entire curve into infinitely many tiny segments, treat each one as a straight line, and then add their lengths together. When we add up all those infinitely small segments, the sum becomes an integral. Here is the formula for arc length. It is the integral from a to b of the magnitude of r prime of t. With respect to t intuitively, r prime of t is the velocity vector, and its magnitude is the speed. So, we are essentially summing up the speed over the time interval to find the total distance traveled. There is a systematic way to calculate this. First, you find the derivative of your position vector, r prime of t second. You calculate the magnitude of that derivative vector, which involves taking the square root of the sum of the squares of its components. Finally, you integrate that resulting function from your start time to your end time. Let's apply this to a classic example, the circular helix. Our position vector is cosine t, sine t, and t we want to find the length of one complete turn of this spiral, so we will evaluate it on the interval from t equals 0 to t equals 2 pi. Step 1 is to take the derivative. The derivative of cosine t is negative sine t, the derivative of sine t is cosine t, and the derivative of t is 1. Next, we find the magnitude. We square each component. Negative sine t squared plus cosine t squared plus 1 squared. Using the identity that sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1, this simplifies beautifully to the square root of 2. Now for the final step. We integrate our speed, which is the square root of 2, from 0 to 2 pi. Since the square root of 2 is a constant, this integral is very simple. It is just the constant times the length of the interval. So, the total length of one turn of the helix is 2 pi times the square root of 2, or approximately 8.89 units. To wrap up, remember that space curves are defined by vector functions. We use the concept of linear approximation to derive our formula. Key to this is understanding that the magnitude of r prime is the speed. Therefore, the arc length is simply the integral of speed over time. Thanks for watching.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.